Inspired you to run for governor, especially at this time in your political career?
I see Wisconsin going in the wrong direction. Very concerned about educational standards being reduced. We're in the bottom 10 states for entrepreneurial activity. Energy costs among the highest in the Midwest. I mean, we're just headed in the wrong direction in a variety of ways, especially in regards to affordability. And I believe that we can turn that around with the right policies.
Awesome. And then as an elected representative for many years now, you have had to sometimes make some difficult decisions, particularly under pressure. What morals do you hold to help you guide your decisions in some of those tense moments, and how would that then affect you serving as governor of this great state?
I've always tried to be principled, and if you heard my speech tonight, I said I don't put my finger to the wind when I'm going to make a decision. I try to abide by those principles, and those principles are really what made this country prosperous. Limited government, more freedom, less taxes, fewer regulations, all those things that those states that are doing that at this point, they're successful. The ones that aren't are ending up woke and broke, like Minnesota and Illinois. And ultimately, I have so many friends that live in Minnesota and Illinois, and I see what's happening to their states. I do not want that to happen to the state of Wisconsin.
And then moving on from there, particularly in the Trump era, we've actually seen a shift of political voting behavior in that statewide Republicans have often struggled to find traction since 2016 especially, with the only successful statewide campaign, at least to my knowledge, being Senator Johnson in 2022. So what will you do to help break the perhaps lack of a better word, lull of statewide Republicans in office here in the state?
Yeah, it's an accurate characterization. We've not been successful in statewide races other than President Trump and Senator Ron Johnson. But if you look at the Republican governors that we've had in Wisconsin since about the late 60s, they largely come from rural Wisconsin and rural, small town Wisconsin. And the one exception was Scott Walker. But otherwise, they've come from other than Madison and Milwaukee. And I think people are, at least on the Republican side, are beginning to understand that there needs to be more appeal than just southeastern Wisconsin. And my strategy is going to be to go to all 72 states. We've ignored Dane County a little bit also. And Dane County being the fastest growing the fastest growing county in the state of Wisconsin, we cannot ignore it. So you got to go compete in all 72 counties. We're going to do that. I think I'm going to have the right message to be able to bring people home in November of 2026.
Sounds good, Representative. And then you've discussed bringing manufacturing back to the state. I know you mentioned it at your rally here this evening. I know politicians have been, particularly in the Midwestern region broadly, have discussed bringing back manufacturing jobs. What's your plan to help the great state of Wisconsin bring back some of those jobs?
So I think on the manufacturing front, when you look at the tariffs that President Trump has done, there's going to be industries that want to come back to America. Wisconsin should get more than its fair share. We are a manufacturing state. We know manufacturing. And a lot of companies want people with the skills that we have, the engineers and others, and just the workforce that we have that's so well trained here in Wisconsin on the manufacturing front. I think we have a golden opportunity if we play our cards right. Now, if we have very long regulatory processes, lots of red tape, high taxes, those type of things, then companies are going to go somewhere else. Those investors are going to go somewhere else. But if we get it right, they'll come to Wisconsin because we know how to make things.
Sounds good. And then I also understand, and so here in Oneida County, not here in Oneida County, but in Oneida County, the town of Stella they had to give out a PFAS contamination warning, particularly regarding fishing within 5 miles of the town hall. PFAS has become a growing concern, not all around the country, but especially here in Wisconsin. And so as governor, I also understand you have a plan to split the DNR. And so how will you address PFAS contamination here in the state?
So you're right that we're seeing hot spots around Wisconsin. I think there's one in La Crosse, also Stella, and of course certainly over in the Marinette area that is of real concern. So in Congress, I believe it was last session, I voted for more funding for research into PFAS because I think there's a lot of unanswered questions at this point for us policymakers to be able to make good decisions. I want to see more research on that front to know exactly what we're dealing with, and then we can get good policy prescriptions to be able to deal with PFAS.
Awesome. And then one final question.
Yeah.
As political violence has become a recent topic of contention here, particularly, at least in my lifetime. And so particularly with the recent assassination of Charlie Kirk and even the Minnesota legislator as of recently. So, as governor, how would you address potential political violence in this state?
I mean, how I've went about doing my business since I came into the legislature in 2010. I go out, I do town halls, I meet with people in all different types of formats and forums, and I've been very open about it. And we need to continue to do that. And we need to go out and talk to people about, hey, we're going to have differences, but we should do them without physical harm being done to someone. I mean, we can have good debate without it becoming violent. And so for me, I'm just going to go out and talk to people. I will continue. I've done that my entire time that I've been in politics. I will continue to go out and meet people and talk to them. And I think that's how we tone down the harsh political rhetoric.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for taking the time, Representative. Will you be pursuing an endorsement from President Trump?
So the president, I mean, we'll see what he does. I mean, that's ultimately his decision, what he's going to do. If he chooses to endorse me, I'll certainly welcome it.
Awesome. Thank you very much.